Hello and welcome to my channel, On the Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style. And let's find out what's been on the hook. A lot of things on the hook as usual. My focus here is to inspire you, and now that spring is almost here, or it's here today, I believe. Now that spring is here, we are going to talk about spring crochet and how you can incorporate crochet into your wardrobe for the spring and for the summer as well. So I'm starting on some new designs. I have some new designs, some works in progress and acquisition. I have some diamond painting to show you. I have several things to talk about today. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. A lot of the people who watch me every week do not subscribe. Please do that so that you will receive notifications when I send out a new post. So please do that. Also, go down to the description box and join the community, because when you do, you receive a free pattern, and it's also free to join, and you will be the first to know when there's a new design out there. And I also send out only to the community an offer code so that you can receive a substantial discount on that pattern, the new pattern, and also any of the other single patterns that I have on my website. So be sure that you do that before the end of the video today, and also like this video. And if you know you're going to like it, I hope you do. If you've been here before, go ahead and like this video. That helps me so much with my channel. So let's get on with On the Hook Crochet with Jeannie. Well, as you can see, I'm wearing a new creation from my Rebecca sweater pattern, and this is on my Etsy shop. A lot of you have this already, but there are lots of ways that you can make it. Now, this particular sweater that I made is from Colorfusion DK. That is the yarn that I use. The colorway is called Vintage. It is beautiful. I do love the colors in this. One thing I have also commented on in the last few episodes is that this particular yarn changes color very abruptly. If it would just fade into the next color, it would be so much better. But I went ahead and finished the sweater. I like it. It's so comfortable. A color fusion that would blend into each other, the colorways, would be much easier to work with, and it would look a lot better when you finish the design. Now, I do have a couple of things I really love about this yarn, and one of those things is it does not split. It holds up to much frogging, which I did some of this time. For obvious reasons, I make mistakes and I get distracted, and so I had to frog some of the sweater out, but it came out very easily. Just zip, zip, zip. There didn't hang up on itself like a lot of yarns will do. And not that it's your fault or the yarn's fault, it's just the way it is. And when you crochet, sometimes you split the yarn just a little bit, or sometimes the yarn gets hung up on itself for no reason that I can figure out. So anyway, this is a Colorfusion DK Premier yarn, not sponsored. I do love it. I've made something else with it that you'll see in October, but that was a different colorway, and it wasn't as abrupt. The changes were abrupt, but they were within the same color scheme, so that they were all blues, light blue, medium blue, dark blue, and all that. They all blended into each other fairly well, even though the color changes were abrupt. These color changes are abrupt, and they're also different colors, completely, as you can see, different colors. It's a very stripy yarn, which I'm okay with. Also, in this particular pattern, you can see that the sleeves right there are pretty short. I extended the sleeves on this, and I crocheted a very large rib, if you can see that right there, a very large rib on this sweater. I just thought it was kind of cute. I liked it, and I decreased just a little bit on this, maybe a couple times here at the top of the arm, but otherwise I didn't. And so this is a little bit large right in here, and I like that for summer. It feels good, and the reason that happens is because I crocheted around the yoke, and I crocheted a little bit longer than I usually do. I crocheted to right there. If you can see my fingers, that's where I crocheted to. And that gave me plenty of room for the body of the sweater. And for the sleeves, they were what I consider fairly large. A 20-inch circumference around the sleeve. And I'm used to about 18 or 17 inches around the sleeve up here to stop crocheting and start the body right here. But I didn't do that. I went a little bit farther, and it made the sleeves a little bit larger here, which are fine, and it made the body a little bit bigger through here, which is fine. For a summer sweater, not a problem. So let me stand up and I'll model this for you. Here's the Rebecca sweater all finished, and the ends are tied in. I'm all done with it. I like it. I like the way it fits. Look how comfortable this is. I'm not telling you can know that, but I'm telling you it's very, very comfortable. It's very easy to wear. The yarn is very, very soft. It is not scratchy on your skin. It's very, very soft, easy to crochet with. I had 3 skeins of Colorfusion, and I used 2 and not even a half of a skein. So if you bought 3 or maybe 4 skeins of Colorfusion, you could probably get away with it. Not sponsored, but I do love this yarn. I do love the way it performs and the way it feels on. It's got a little bit of a stretch to it. I really like that. And for a summer top, it's perfect. Now there are some beautiful colors there, not all reds. This was the only red that they had, but and this red is one of my favorite colors, so I chose this color, but I made a summer sweater out of it. So you could easily buy this color and make a long sleeve sweater. It would look perfect for fall or winter, either one. So this is what it looks like with my arms out. It's very, very comfortable. I did put a large rib on the sleeve, and I did a smaller rib along the bottom. It's about a 1.5 inch rib along the bottom. So all those are items that you can use the pattern for, but you can adjust those however you want the sweater to look on you. So this is a sweater that only fits me. It probably wouldn't fit you, but it's about a medium size, maybe. I'd say it's a medium size. I'll get up a little bit closer so you can see how it fits. It's you know, it's a little bit loose. It's not terribly loose though. The ease in here is about 4 inches total around the hips. So, you know, it's very, very comfortable. Really, really like this sweater. Again, I made this by the Rebecca sweater pattern. It is not sized. You will not find a size in there. You determine the number of stitches, and the width of the sweater is determined by you. So you can decide how large you want the sweater to be and how long, how big the ribs are, all of that. The size of the neck is even adjustable. You don't have to follow along my stitch counts at all. There are no stitch counts in the sweater. This is all up to you, and it's very easy to do. It's not difficult at all. If you make a mistake, it's really not anything that anybody cares about unless you do. But I did use the 2 window rows here, the rounds that are done in windows. It gives the sweater a little bit of interest at the top, and then using the ribs on the sleeves I think helped a little bit. It made it look kind of interesting on the sleeve, so I'm really pleased with it. It's totally different from the other Rebeccas that I've made. I've made 3 others, I believe, and you can make it as many times as you want. You can make a winter sweater or summer sweater, and you can also stop right here. Instead of adding sleeves to it, you can stop right there and make it a little bit of a cap sleeve sweater. So it can be anything you want it to be. That's a look at my brand new Rebecca sweater. Now moving right along, I think I'm going to insert my diamond painting right here because I'm working on it, and I want you to know how to move your diamond painting around so that you can be more efficient when you're painting on it and you're not leaning up too far, you're not hurting your back, and I'm going to give some tips about that in my next video here. Here's my weekly look at the diamond painting that I have going right now. Now I have him turned upside down, and I'll put a picture of the diamond painting over here on the right so you can see what it looks like after it's finished. But I have it turned upside down, and here's the bottom of my easel right here. So I've done all of this right in here. I still have a few little pieces right in here and a few over here that I have to do. But I did all this the other day. Last night I was working on it. I have all of this done, and I also have this part of the painting done as well. And if you'll notice, I have it rolled up right here. Let me get down here where you can see it. It's rolled up, and I have clips on it so that it will stay in place. And then I have it on the easel where the little edge is right here, so that keeps it standing up straight. And I also have it clamped here and here, and that's clamped to my light. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get over here. I have a light right there That is my light pad behind it, and that shows the symbols right in here. I'll get that out of the way. If you notice that they are upside down right there. See how they're upside down? There's a K and an S. I'm working upside down on the painting because it's easier to reach it from this end than it is the other end. So I've done all this up here though, so I only have just the middle part of the picture to do. And I'll step back right here. I have this part of the picture to finish, and then I'll be done. So I'm pretty excited about that. I did all this first along this one side, and then I got burnt out on that, so I came up the side, and now I'm working in the middle. So as soon as I finish this, I will take it to the framers, and we will get it up on the fireplace, and we'll see how it looks up there. So I just want to give you a quick look at that. And another thing I wanted to say is that if you have a diamond painting that's bigger than the easel or the table you're working on, you can always roll it up, like I did right over here. You can roll it up, and that way it'll stay intact. It won't be flopping over the edge of your easel. So you can do that, and you can also turn the painting around, right side up, left side up. You can turn it on its end. As long as you roll up the other end over here, you'll probably be okay. So you just have to work with it if you have a large painting. Now, if you have a small painting, it's great. You can just flip it around and use whatever side you want to. Right now, I'm almost to the middle, so I'm going to have to decide how I'm going to reach all that. So we'll see what happens next week. Hopefully, I can be finished with this in a couple of weeks. That's what I'm shooting for on this particular diamond painting. I hope you like that. That's just something that I love to do. It's another craft that I've taken up, and it's a nice craft to use with crochet. It's nothing like that. You don't use the same muscles in your fingers. It's very easy to do, and it can be very, very rewarding if you select the diamond painting that really means something to you, because you're going to be looking at it for a while. So that's a little bit about my diamond painting. I do love it, and it's not the focus of this channel, but it is an addition to the channel. Moving along, I have a couple of designs that I want to talk about. I am working on spring designs. Really excited. This year, I'm inspired by a lot of the yarns that I'm finding on the internet from Lion Brand, from other brands, not sponsored at all. But I dug this out of my stash. This is called Flecks, and it's bought at Michael's. It was bought at Michael's last year. And for $10, look at the price on that. I probably got it on sale too, but for $10, you can get 590 yards of a size 4 yarn. It is as soft as you can imagine. It's 79% acrylic and 21% polyester. So there's nothing natural in this at all. There's no wool, no cotton, none of that. But it is very, very, very soft. And I found this and part of another skein of this that I'd used for something in an experiment, and I didn't like it at all. Again, this is Michael's Flecks, not sponsored. I started a design with that, and I'll show you what I have so far. I'm inserting a band at the bottom of the sweater, and it's going to look different from the body of the sweater, which is up here. The band is along the bottom, right here, from here down. There's a demarcation line right there that separates it from the body of the sweater. And I'll have slits on each side of the top. There'll be a slit on each side, and those will lay down. Those will lay down when I get finished with it, but they're curling a little bit. This is what it looks like so far. I have this much so far, and I really like it. It's, again, very, very, very soft. And I'm crocheting it with a hook that will make the fabric thick enough so that I don't have to wear something underneath it. So it's a perfect spring and summer sweater. And that will be coming out in the near future. I don't know exactly when, but this is called Cream. And I looked on the web, and they don't have this particular color anymore. They have Ivory, which may be the same color. I don't know if it's the same thing or not. They didn't have it at my local Michael's, but they did have it online. So if you're interested in getting this at Michael's, you can go online, and there are several colors of this, maybe 8 or 10 colors of Flecks, and it's a beautiful yarn. It's a kind of a shiny yarn, and it has little flecks of different colors in here. This has gray and yellow flecks in it. Those are the colors in the sweater. And if you look very closely, let me open that up. You can see it's a little bit of color pooling there just because of the flecks in the yarn, but I think that they're equally placed through the yarn. I don't think they're just random, so they're going to make that color pooling effect when you get this crocheted. Now, again, I have probably 450 yards of this left. I've used some of it here, and I've used part of another skein, so I'm hoping I'll have enough. It's not going to have long sleeves or anything. It may have 3/4 sleeves. I don't know. It depends on how much yarn I have left, really. So I was so excited when I found this in my stash. I went to Michael's and I wanted to check to be sure that they had some before I talked about it on my channel. And they do have Flecks, and this is the size ball they have now. Not anywhere near as large as the other one. This is 355 yards. The other one was 590 yards. I wanted to be sure that they still had the Flecks yarn so that I could tell you that you could go buy it if you wanted to. I'm not sponsored by Michael's or anything. But this, again, is the same yarn exactly. It's just in a smaller quantity. So this is called Flecks, size 4 yarn. I'm using a size I hook for this, but it recommends a size H hook for this. You can use whatever size hook you want, which is what I usually do. I usually don't go by the yarn ball band, but I wanted to show you that. I bought 3 skeins of this, so that should be ample. That's almost 1,000 yards, actually a little over 1,000 yards of number 4 yarn. So that should be just fine if I want to make something else with it. But I just love this yarn. It's so soft. It's very, very soft, and against your skin, I'm sure it's going to be just awesome. So if you decide that's what you want, that's a good yarn to select. I really like that Flecks. I have an update on a work in progress that I've been working on. This is the Sunlit Tee, and I'm not making it with all that ease in it. I did the first time around, but I'm not doing it this time. This is made with an I hook, and the yarn is Coboo, and let me show you that. It's Coboo by Lion Brand. And it's a combination, this is the color olive, by the way. It's a size 3 yarn, and they're 232 yards on the cake. This is 51% cotton and 49% rayon. It's called Coboo yarn, and they probably have it at Joann's. I don't know. I always order this online. It's just so much easier, and I can get the color that I want. This is olive, by the way. And I'm making a sunlit tee from this, and I'm finished the front of the sweater. I'm so excited. I'm all done with the front, and it's going to be a V-neck just like the sunlit tee. And there's about where it's going to fall, right there. I have plenty of width in this. I'm going to have some ease in it. There'll probably be about 5 or 6 inches of ease instead of 10 or 12 inches of ease. And it's very, very soft. It's squishy. And look at that. Stitch definition is so beautiful in there. I really love it. I love this yarn. And I'm looking forward to finishing this. This is the Sunlit Tee. And again, I'm making it by the pattern, but I'm not making it in as a large version as I did the first time around. The other time was a very boxy sweater, and I'm not doing that on this particular work in progress. One more design I have, and Crystal is chomping at the bit to get over here and model my newest design. So let me get Crystal over here and she'll show it to you. Crystal is modeling my newest design, and I love this. I've been working on it for a few weeks, and I didn't want to say anything until I had a little bit more done. So I'm finished with the front of the sweater, and the sweater is, as you can see, there's a large motif in the middle of it, and it's not a, well, you call it a granny if you want to. I don't like calling things granny if they're not granny. This is more of a motif, and it's a beautiful one. It has 4 different directions in it, just like a granny square does, but it's a lot more contemporary looking, I think. I really like the look of it. And what I've done here is I've named it Garden Party Tee because it is very light, and I'm making this from Lion Brand Cotton Bamboo. There it is right there. And the color is Cherry Blossom. Cherry Blossom. Beautiful, beautiful yarn. I'm not a big pink person, but I really love this color. It's not really rose, but it's not just a plain old pink, a lightweight pink. It is a beautiful color pink, and it's a size 3 yarn. And I was looking to see what it's made from. It is 52% cotton, 48% rayon from bamboo, almost like Coboo. Very, very similar to it. And it actually crochets just like it, so it could be just kind of another version of Coboo, but is cotton and bamboo, Lion brand. I just ordered this, so they have it on the web right now. So this is the Garden Party Tee, and what I've done here is I've made a central, I've made a center panel right here out of the motif, and I've edged it along with another stitch so that this kind of stands out by itself. Then I've added the shoulders, and I've created a scoop neck in here. It looks very, very soft. That's what I had in mind. It's not very low scoop because then you would get into your motif. So, and I guess if you really wanted to, you could drop the motif down and delete the bottom band if you wanted to. Now the bottom band is a different, it's the same stitch as this one going this way. And this one is going this way. This one is going up and down there. So the directions are all coordinated here, but I do love the way it turned out. And this is going to have some ease in it, not too much, probably about maybe 4 or 5 inches of ease in it, but with this beautiful yarn that is so drapey. It is so drapey. I really love it, and it's very, very soft, and it's perfect for spring and summer. So I'll be probably adding a little bit here to the sleeves. I'll probably add a little bit on to that for the sleeves. And what you'll do is you'll just sew up the sides to the point that you need it to be comfortable under your arm. And there'll be that seam and then the 2 tiny shoulder seams on this particular sweater. So the back is not going to have the motif. The back will be just a straight stitch like this. It'll just be that along the back. And so the interest will be on the front, and that's what I had in mind. There's no reason to make a panel like this for the back. Now, it is going to be optional. If you want to make the back like this, you certainly can. Just make another back just like this one. You could even make the scoop in the back if you wanted to. Make it a nice summer top, or you can just go straight across with it. It doesn't really matter, but you could do it either way. So I hope you like it. This is the Garden Party Tee, and the pattern will be coming out fairly soon. I'm almost finished with it. I'm finished with the front. All I have to do is the back, and that'll take me a few days to get all that crocheting done. But I have plenty of yarn, and I should be doing all right. Now, I did actually this whole front. Now, this will give you an idea of how much yarn you might need, but this whole front was 1 skein of yarn until I got right over here. So it took about 1 skein and 1/4 for the front in the size that I'm making, which is about a medium. I'd say that's probably about a medium, maybe even a large. So I think 3 or 4 skeins would be enough. I personally bought 6 skeins because I don't like to run out when I'm designing. I have to have plenty of yarn. In fact, I might put a longer sleeve in this if I feel like I want it to have that with the design. It just depends, but this is a spring and summer design. I've got my arm back under here so you can see it a little bit better, but I think that's going to be quite beautiful when I'm finished with it. So again, that's the Garden Party Tee, and that's my newest design on the way. Thank you, Crystal, for helping me model that beautiful new design. I'm excited about it. It'll be out soon. Now, here is my Annie's Afghan that I'm making. It's the Moroccan Tiles Holiday Spice. And this is just a little tiny look at it. I'll be doing a video by itself of this particular month's kit. This part plus these squares. I had to work pretty hard to get this right. And it's okay because there's a video that shows you how to do it. And I mostly use the written pattern just because I'm a written pattern kind of gal. I like to use a written pattern, but if I wanted to, I could certainly refer to the videos if I need to. So, and I've done that many, many times, especially right in here. I use the video to kind of get an idea of how to do these triangles. But I love the way it's looking. Let me show this to you. This is just so gorgeous. Look at this. Look how pretty it is so far. Now this is 30 by 30 right now, so I don't know how big the Afghan will be when I'm finished with it, but it's big enough to throw over my chair. So that's where I'm keeping it right now, and because it's still chilly, I I enjoy having that behind me. That's really, really nice. So thank you to Annie's for sponsoring that. I have a new video out about that here in just a little bit. In my next regular On the Hook with Jeannie video, I'm going to talk about some projects that I've introduced to you, but that will be going into timeout because I don't have time to finish them this year. I will have to do that for fall and winter and incorporate that into my new designs that are coming out in the fall. I do have some plans up here. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, but I'm really excited about just putting out designs that you might like. I try to remember what y'all say to me in your comments and what kind of ideas you have. So on this video, if you want to put a suggestion in the comments of something you'd like to see, please tell me down there, because I'm going to be looking at those comments for suggestions for designs for the fall, not for the summer, but for the fall. I'll be looking forward to that. In the next month or two, I have to start thinking about the designs I want to put out in the fall, so you'll have time to make them when the weather gets cool again. Now, we're not even in hot weather now, but I do plan several things. I already have one already finished, and it's ready to go. All I have to do is make it up one more time in a different kind of yarn. I'm going to do that, and it's something that you can get a hold of that's not a luxury yarn. Now, if you'll notice that the yarns that I show, like Premier Yarns, Lion Brand yarns, all that, those are very affordable, and you can get those at several different places. Luxury yarns, not so much. Usually I get mine from Malabrigo. Now that Knit Crate is closed, I was getting them from Knit Crate and just really enjoying seeing all the new luxury yarns. And I will put the link to the website that I use down there. It's not malabrigo.com. It's another website that I use. I can go out and see all the different kinds of yarn, not just Malabrigo, but other yarns as well. The only problem is that you can't squeeze them, you can't smell them, you can't touch them, you can't know what they're going to be like. So when I order one, I like to tell y'all what it's like, if it's scratchy, if it's soft, if it's difficult to work with. All of those things are important when you order yarn, especially luxury yarn, because luxury yarn is so expensive. Now, Malabrigo isn't the top of the line as far as luxury yarns go. The individually hand-dyed yarns are quite gorgeous and wonderful. They're between $27 and $37 and $40 a skein. So if you're making something, you have to be pretty sure you're going to love it before you make it up. And I would always make, if it's one of my designs, I would make it out of something less expensive. Make sure you get the right size, the look that you want, and then buy a luxury yarn. You know exactly how much you need, and that should be very easy. And that's what I do a lot of the times. I will make my first design out of an affordable yarn that I can get anywhere, and then every now and then I'll grab some luxury yarn and make the same pattern with it, and I know it's going to fit. I know exactly, and I have a prototype up here, and you would have one in your closet that you could go by, lay it on a table and measure it out, make sure it's exactly what you want, and then when you use your luxury yarn, you know it'll be perfect and it'll be gorgeous as well. So there's nothing against luxury yarn. I love it, love it, love it, but I'm not always willing to pay what they charge for it. So I look for a sale, or I just buy just barely enough to make the garment. I don't buy 4, 5, 6 skeins of it, because I can get them for $4 or $5 a skein. That's like Lion Brand or Premier or something like that. So that's some of my recommendations. You make one of my designs, you can make it out of something affordable, and then go to a luxury yarn. If you want to make something really special, you can do that. Now, what I suggest is, and this is just a little aside, but my multicolor cardi I've made now 4 or 5 times. I've made it 4 or 5 times. It looks totally different. Every one of them looks totally different from the other. And I've made them out of luxury yarns, and I've made them out of affordable yarns that you can get at, Michael's or Joann's or on Amazon. You can get affordable yarns there. And I've made it out of several different kinds of yarn. I even made one from a Caron latte cake. And what I want to do, maybe in my next video, I'll make a note that I will bring out my multicolor cardis and show them all to you. You can actually make a short sleeve one for the summer that you can just wear when you're in a restaurant, it's too cool. Or you can make a long sleeve heavyweight cardigan out of a heavier yarn. You can use size 4 or even a bulky. I'm sure would be just fine in that. I designed the patterns so that you can use them with all kinds of different yarns, different hooks, and different sizes, so you can make it as big or little as you want, have as much ease in it as you want. All this is what I write into my designs so that you'll know it's very easy to make. And everything is written out in prose. You know what that means? That means not cryptic writing, like, what are they talking about here? This parenthesis and that parenthesis and this star and that star. I try not to use those in my patterns because they can be very confusing, easily mixed up. So I try to write everything out and give you tips as we go along in the design. And those of you who have bought my patterns know what I mean. I use tips. And when I say tip, it's like you should do this or that. I recommend this or that. And they're clearly set apart from the design. So they're not mixed up in the design, but they're little suggestions from the designer so that you can be more successful in making your garment. So there you have it, a little bit about my patterns and about what to choose for your yarns. And we'll talk more about that in my next video. But right now, let's talk about giveaways. I love giveaways. I've got 2 giveaways. They're kind of large this week, and I have something for next week as well. So let's get started. This week, I have 2 giveaways, 2 giveaway winners this week. This is the Premier Chow Merino. This is a really nice yarn. It is a chain yarn and really, really pretty. I like this. This is the colorway Stone. And that's what it looks like. It is a pretty color. It's so neutral. It's so neutral. You could put any color with this. It would look beautiful. This is a size 3 yarn, so it's a light yarn. And it is made from 61% fine merino superwash, 22% nylon, 17% alpaca. So how beautiful is that? And it's very, very soft. It's very soft. Soft on the skin too. Very, very sweet. I love this. And in this particular giveaway, 1, 2, 3, I have 6 skeins of this, and in each skein there are 240 yards. So that's a lot. That's a lot of yarn right there. So beautiful. This was given to me by Peg Chandler. Peg, thank you so, so much. I knew I wouldn't make this, but I wanted to give it away to someone who might be able to make something beautiful with it. I don't know what. You will know when you get the yarn. You'll say, I can make a blank out of that. That's sort of what I do when I buy a new yarn. I think, I could do, it'll tell me what it wants to be. In about a week, I usually figure out what it wants to be. So the same with Chow Merino. You'll probably figure that out. So for giveaway winner number 1, this keyword was merino. So we'll give that to someone who put that in their comment. For our second winner, I have 4 skeins of Karen Simply Soft. This is in Country Blue. Beautiful color. Really love that. There are 2 skeins of that. And there are also a skein of white and a skein of gray heather, which is also very beautiful as well. So Karen was the keyword for. Let's look at the computer and see who wins these gifts today. Here we are at the computer, and let's find out who wins the merino yarn. And there it is right there, the text that we needed in the comment in order to be in the running for this. So let's find out how many people were interested, and there were 156. Thank you so much. Now let's go over here and find out who wins the Chow Merino beautiful yarn by Premier. And that will be Animal House Crocheting with Donna. That sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. So Animal House Crocheting with Donna. Let's go over here and let's change the keyword from Chow Merino or merino. And the other word is Caron, and that is about the Caron yarn, of course. And so let's go right down here and put in the answer to our question, which is 10. And let's find out how many comments we had with that particular word. And that would be 144. So let's go over here and find out who wins the Karen yarn. So let's see who wins that this week. Sharon Camp, you are the winner of the Karen yarn. Congratulations to both winners. Now for our next giveaway. I have 3 things that I want to give away this week. One of which is the Crochet magazine, and this is the new one for summer of 2023. This is a beautiful magazine. I don't know if I've given any of these away yet. I can't remember if I have. But Crochet magazine for summer of 2023. This is gift number 1, and the key word here is fun, and that comes right off the front, right there, the word fun, F-U-N. If you want to be in the running for this magazine, use the word fun in your comment, and you'll be in the running. So there's giveaway gift number 1. Giveaway gift number 2 is a Karen latte cake. Now, this is my very favorite one. I have one left. And I made a multicolor cardie out of this, and I think I needed a couple of skeins, maybe 3, I don't remember. But my guess is that I needed 2 skeins, and I had one left over. So this is a bulky 5, the softest yarn, I think, on the market that is not wool or anything like that. This is all as acrylic and nylon, so the nylon makes it very, very soft. Again, this is quite wonderful. I love it. Now I have a whole skein of this, and on each cake, I guess you could call this a cake, is 530 yards of number 5 bulky. So that'll make something. That'll make something great. And you know, I had this much left over for whatever reason, and I kind of balled it up. It's in a nice yarn band here. I had that much left, so I will give both of those away to the person who uses the word cake in their comment. Cake, C-A-K-E, and this is again the Karen latte cakes. These are a little bit scarce. I've had a hard time finding it. One of my subscribers actually gave me a link, and I used it to find this. Really, really love it, though. It's a wonderful, wonderful yarn. I can't say enough about it. I just love latte cakes, and they should continue to make this color too. This is a beautiful color, and I think they call it cream. Yes, it's called cream. And it's not a bright white, but it's kind of an off-white. So gorgeous. It reminds me of the comfy cotton in the whipped cream color. It's about the color it is right there. So you'll receive both of those if you use the word cake in your comment. And you can sign up for all 3 of these gifts, by the way, just in case you were wondering. The third gift is a full skein of Scarfy Light, and this is what I use to make my Silver Spring shawl. You can see it right up there. Watch my hand. There it is on the end of my prototype rack. I've got it hung up there, and it was featured in last week's video. Really love it. It's so light, and this is extremely light too. There are 349 yards on this particular skein, and I used one. I didn't even use a whole skein to make that right there. I used less than a skein. This goes a long, long way, and it's a beautiful color as well. And let me get that color. It's called Twilight. Oh, so gorgeous made up. You can see that in the Silver Spring Shawlette, and along with that, I'm going to send the pattern for the Silver Spring Shawlette. You only need 1 skein for this particular shawl in the size that I made it. It's not very big, but it's not tiny either. It's plenty big to wear over your shoulders, or you can even wear it as a scarf. And if you'll notice what I really like about this design, this 3-sided pieces on the front, on both fronts. It's not just a plain old shell shawl. It has a section on each front that looks a little bit different. So I really like that, and so I'm going to give this away with enough yarn to make it for next week's gift. And the keyword there will be spring, S-P-R-I-G, kind of taken from the name of the pattern, Silver Spring Shawlette. So I hope you like those 3 gifts. I put a lot of thought into those every week when I think about giving things away. I want y'all to be happy. So be sure in your comment to, a couple of reminders. Be sure in comment to write what you would like me to design for the fall and winter. What you would like to see. Now, last year, just a little story, last year I asked the same thing, and y'all, several of you said, I want you to make a skirt. So I made the city skirt, and a few of you have bought those, not as many as I thought would buy the city skirt pattern, but it's a beautiful pattern and it fits you. That's all I can say. It fits you, and I've worn it, and it is quite beautiful on. I really, really like it. I made it from some Mary Maxim yarn that's called Best Value. It wasn't a luxury yarn by any stretch, and it turned out really, really nice. So I think a dark color in that for winter and fall, and also you can make it out of a light color for the spring and wear it with, you could even line it very easily with some very light cotton. You could line it and it would be very comfortable to wear in the spring and summer. So I like it. I really like the city skirt. I might make another one if I have time, but usually my time is spent designing new designs, and that's my favorite thing to do. And so I leave it up to y'all to make the suggestions on my Facebook. Sometimes I see pictures of my designs made totally different from what I would think would be beautiful, and they are beautiful. They're quite beautiful. So be sure to put in the comment what you would like me to design for fall and winter for this year, and also be sure to put in your comment the keywords that I gave you for these 3 gifts, or 2 gifts, or whichever gifts you want. If you don't want any, don't use those words. But I am just glad to do this every week. I think it's so much fun. I really enjoy the giveaway portion of my program, and it allows y'all to participate with me in a way that I can give back, and I can keep my stash low enough so I can buy new spring yarns, which I have done. I've bought 4 or 5 new spring yarns. And again, here's one. I wanted to show this when I showed the magazine. This is made with a G-hook. It's a beautiful, beautiful cocoon. It's made with a G-hook, but it's made with a 4-weight cotton. And I thought, well, that's interesting, but it's a very lacy cocoon, and I thought that was beautiful. Look at that. It's so pretty. I don't really have a lot of patience to make that, but somebody might. So if you want this magazine, be sure to sign up for it, and the other things as well. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you like this video. If you did, please hit the like button. It helps my channel so much, and I appreciate it more than you know. So thank you for joining me today, and join me next time to find out what's on the hook.